Good evening, everybody. Great to be back on the air. I've got Ryan Thompson. This is David Anderson. Ryan, how the heck are you? We hadn't been on the air in a little while.
I know it's been a little bit. I'm doing good though. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
I'm great. Glad to hear it, and couldn't be more excited to come back on the air and be right on the track here at Le Mans, where we are kicking off another really fun week of racing here with the CMS GT3 Sprint Series on iRacing. We're riding with Justin Hess right now. Justin has been on fire the last couple of races. We will give you an update on the points coming into tonight here in just a moment. But we're also excited because this is the what we call IRTES week, which is the iRacing Team Endurance Series, as you see on our logo. So we have two races at Le Mans, one tonight in the GT3 cars, and then we have one on Sunday in the multi-class series brought to you by SimRacing247.com tonight and Penguin RC Simulation on Sunday. And Ryan, we talked about Justin Hess. He comes in here kind of playing the hot hand. He's really stepped his... he's been running up front, but he's really stepped his game up quite a bit the last couple races while you and I have been off the air.
Yeah, it seems like he's really gotten his setup dialed in. He put on a master class of fuel saving there with combination of his setup and some of his fuel saving techniques. So really, I think we're really starting to learn what some of these cars are capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin coming off of a win at Nürburgring, and maybe just a quick recap in the Pro Series. Justin was our winner last week at Nürburgring, and the week prior, Max Muir got another victory at Interlagos. Unfortunately, Ryan and I were unable to broadcast either of those races, and that's in our Pro class. In our AM class, a quick update there, Scott Kennedy, and we will find Scott here this evening, but and take a look at him, but Scott Kennedy took the win at both Interlagos and Nürburgring. So actually, I may have... that is correct. I was just double checking some of my math here, but 2 wins in a row, really 3 dating back to Fuji. So Scott Kennedy, another driver, just really on fire, Ryan, in the AM division.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, he definitely has been really good. We have one housekeeping note. We had a driver move into the pro category from the AM mid-season, and that is something that the drivers are able to do on their own. And Ryan, I don't know if you want to comment on our driver that moved and kind of what that means to the points.
Yeah, if a driver asks us if they can move from AM to Pro, we're probably going to say yes. It's kind of in everybody's best interest. If they feel they should be running there, then we'll probably go along with that. So, yeah, which driver were you referring to there?
Was it Hunter McRoby? I'm pretty sure it was. You and I are knocking the dust off here tonight.
Yeah, we are.
But I'm pretty sure it was Hunter McRoby who was kind of dominating, and apologies if I've got this wrong, but dominating a little bit in the GT3 AM class, and then self-elected to move up to the pro category mid-season, which means that his points and whatnot were shifted. So exciting that we have the ability for drivers to do that. And a lot of times guys come in and maybe they think they're an AM or they think they're a pro, and we give them the latitude to be able to work with us to be where ultimately they need to be, right, in the series, which is fun.
Right.
So we're still out here with Justin Hess. Justin actually on the pole right now, so we're going to stick with him for a minute here. The drivers have a little bit longer qualifying tonight. I think we've given them about 5 extra minutes of qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. And
that's right. Yeah. It was looking like it was going to be maybe doable, but really tight to try to get 2 laps in here. But you do get a short out lap here at Le Mans, but even then it was going to be right on the limit for a lot of the drivers. So we just decided to move everything by 5 minutes and give everybody plenty of time.
Yeah, we ride with Justin here. Beautiful view from inside his Ferrari as he heads down the second of the long Mulsanne Straits into the second chicane area, and really, really holding a pretty wheel here, coming off that win. And, you know, Ryan, I was looking here through the standings. We've got a large field tonight, 40 or so drivers, but I'm not seeing Scott Kennedy, and I wanted to go on him, but the reason we haven't gone over to just show Scott and his progress is I don't see him on the server unless I'm overlooking it.
Yeah, he let us know that he was about to board a 6-hour flight, and I guess they don't let you bring your sim rigs on those anymore.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, I tell you what, that is going to open the door for one man's loss is another one's gain sometimes in these situations. And as we go back out here to look at Justin a little bit, but this man here in the Porsche, who we've talked a lot about this year in the AM class, Gabriel Albano, currently in 11th position on the grid right now, might leave here the points leader in the AM division tonight, Ryan, with Scott having to miss. Real life gets in the way, and we all sort of have to realize that this is it's a simulation, right? Like no different than playing The Sims 3 or something. It's an escape from your from the real world sometimes, right?
Right.
Yeah, so looks like Scott will not be here currently, and we wish him safe travels and to get back out here with us as soon as possible. So this gentleman, Gabriel Albano, has had a phenomenal season as well, coming in here tonight to Le Mans with 3 podiums in a row. Has not pulled out. Actually, he has had 1 win at VIR this season, and so finds himself only 11 points behind Scott Kennedy. So with a solid run, I think we'll come out of here with 1 race left at Suzuka, Ryan, probably either with a new points leader or at a bare minimum a really, really tight points battle in this AM division going into the final race at Suzuka.
Yes, it is definitely not over.
Yeah, and similarly, it's interesting we mentioned that Victor Tanaka, and it looks like Victor here tonight in second position right now, but not on the track. A lot of drivers wrapping up their qualifying. I'll do a rundown here in a moment for the field, but Victor Tanaka also has an identical points lead in the Pro Division of 11 points over Miguel Colon, and Victor has also been another driver really, really having a great season. He's had 3 podiums in a row as well, and has just been super, super strong in this series. I'm looking to see if Victor has had a win, and I don't see that he has. Maybe at Imola. But it doesn't look like he's had a win. He's had a lot of really, really strong finishes, Ryan, but hasn't been able to get on the top step of the podium yet.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a funny discussion about that on the Wednesday Discord channel on the CMS server, and we're kind of remarked that Michael Parker was the one that didn't win a single race last season, and he did okay.
Yeah,
ended up coming away with the championship win.
He did. And speaking of Michael, he's here tonight, but he has not turned a lap as the drivers are kind of winding down qualifying. I'll give you a quick update here of our top 10. So in 10th position, we have Kevin Ayers, Stephen Yanni in 9th, Mark Nister in 8th, Rafael Sosa in 7th, Joshua Burke, who we see on the track now. Looks like he's just don't know what he's doing out here. He's backing up, so interesting situation here. But Joshua Burke in 7th, Edward Nelson 6th, Richard Hibbs 5th, Claude Belval 4th, Victor Tanaka 3rd, Justin Hess has fallen to 2nd place, and our old buddy Miguel Colon is on the pole tonight with a really smoking 3-minute 54.478 lap time. He's going to be moving in that Mercedes tonight, I have a feeling.
Yeah, that's an incredible time.
Really is. Now, we talked about Michael Parker. Michael is here, and I see him on the track now. Looks like he's trying to get in a late lap here So Michael in the Audi and was one of the last drivers. He's still got plenty of time, and we still have about 5 or 6 drivers out on the track right now as we speak. Michael being one of them.
Yeah, I'm showing he might have made a mistake on his first lap, so it didn't count.
Yeah, going through Indianapolis right now. To see if he can jump up. Right now, he is one of about 8 drivers without a time. We'll ride along with him here. Michael is leading the points in our IRTES Porsche Cup Series and has really had a strong season in 2023 here to start with just really any and everything iRacing at CMS as well as abroad. We'll see if he can, he's certainly a threat for the pole here. See if he can't maybe knock Miguel Colon off of it. Watch him as he comes through the final set of Porsche curves and chicanes. I think this will be the only lap he's able to get in, Ryan, because he'll run out of time before he can get a second one timed.
Yeah, he's already done a first lap. It just didn't count.
Here he comes, really using those corners and curves, and then there he is. I
Didn't get a
lost him.
1X.
Yeah, I lost him there for a minute.
356.
Yeah, so moved all the way up to 5th position, which is just a phenomenal run for him. So that resets the field a little bit as well. Looks like we may have one driver still out on track. Yep, and sure enough, look who it is. There is actually 2, and one of them is this man, JT Tammy, who we know and know well. There's actually 3 drivers on the track still. JT, Edward Nelson, and Brian Blanchette all out on the track still. JT coming to finish his lap. And JT currently in 24th position, going to move all the way up to 11th. Let's get on with Brian Blanchette. Looks like Brian has come to a stop, so let's get on with Edward Nelson. And it looks like Edward Nelson has come to a stop as well. So I think everyone is done at this point with qualifying, Ryan. Got to get it. You got to get it, and you got to get it quickly here because you got a long lap and not a lot of time to make it. You can't really have a mistake.
Yeah, it's just that many corners, just that many more chances to make a mistake.
Yeah, and Edward Nelson really slow here, almost as if he's out of gas, and going to need his crew to get him back to the virtual facility track staff to get him back to the pits before he needs to grid up here, which is going to happen in about 15 or 20 seconds. So fun. It's going to be a fun one, really is, and I'm excited about it tonight.
Oh yeah.
You'd really rather be nowhere else but here. And looks like we're going to have good weather, maybe a little bit of a hot track. And we've got a strong field tonight. I'm showing right about 41 cars or so. A few new faces, which is nice. I'm seeing a couple of guys that I know have not raced in the series a lot this season that are here tonight, like Thomas Fisher is here tonight, and it's great to see him.
He's in our Twitch chat as well. He said he invalidated his a 355 in the final corner.
Oh boy, yeah. So he's going to start rear of the field. Thomas is a driver who is doing a lot of prep, probably for IRTES this weekend, as and we'll see a lot of that. We'll see some of the drivers like Thomas here tonight, Ryan, who may not make all the Wednesday races, but when what we do is when the IRTES big race lines up, we always run the same track here in the GT3 Sprint Series, which gives everybody kind of a second look at it, and that's where we have some of these sort of big dogs, if you will, like Thomas, who races for our Champion Motorsports Pro team here within the the factory team, if you will, for CMS. He'll be one for us to keep an eye on tonight for sure. Be a fun story to watch him go up through the field.
Yeah, it's always just a slightly different experience when we get some of the IRTES people that don't race with us all the time here. That that come on over to do some of these Wednesday races.
Yeah,
It's always good to see.
it is absolutely. I'm seeing, trying to see if there's anyone else that kind of fits that bill. A lot of regulars here. Now a lot of these drivers, I'd say 2/3 of the field runs an IRTES anyway, but not everybody's able to do both. So we get some of the guys. I know that we had some of the TPRT team, and that were here when we were at Fuji just a few weeks back, making sure they got in the extra time and learned. I don't know why you wouldn't do that if you're available. But of course, our TS series, as we know, is we've got a lot of teams that are UK and Euro friendly time zone that run in that. It's the middle of the night for them here on a North America, 8 o'clock at night race, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like they should be gridding up here any second. Don't know if we've got
We're mid formation lap at this point.
We are. Why am I not seeing anything? Maybe having a technical issue here on my side. I believe I am, Ryan. Some sort of way. I don't know if I lost.
Have you tried fast forwarding?
Yeah.
Okay.
I may have. I've lost connection with iRacing.
Oh yeah, I see your top banner there now. That's really weird.
Yeah. Am I? Interesting. We may have to have me come back in because I don't have anybody on the track, and you're saying we're mid formation lap.
Yep.
Yeah, I lost connection. I'm seeing it now. So, unfortunately, we'll just continue to talk here, and I'm going to have to reload into iRacing. So, it
I do my
happens.
best radio broadcast impression here.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll let
Fully
you do
action
that.
a little bit.
Yeah, I'll let you do that while I'm getting back in. And I knew something seemed like it was taking a little longer, and it happens to even the broadcaster sometimes. Got to disconnect. So.
Yep. They're just coming through the final chicanes now. The pace car is in. And we are green. Victor's made a really good move right off the jump. Miguel is attempting to close the door here. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Looks like Victor's going to just about make it by. Ooh, we had to back out there. But that has cost Miguel a little bit of position. So Victor's right back up there. Going back in the field a little bit here. Looks like Victor's just about going to squeak by there. So we have, just off the start, we have Victor, Miguel, Justin, Claude, and Michael, your top 5 in the pro class.
Excellent.
It's going to take me a minute to find everybody else.
And I am loading back in. I think I may have accidentally potentially been connected as a racer, not a spectator, and it gave my spot away to someone that needed it. So,
or if you didn't grid up, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. So I will be in here momentarily, and again, we apologize for the snafu. As you can tell, we're knocking a little of the rust off here ourselves tonight.
So I've got your AM class for you. We've got Doug Hintz, Leonard Burke, Paul Hamilton, Pierre Robitaille, and Christian Youngwall. Christian, actually being a pro driver, must have had a little bit of an issue there. I'm not sure where he qualified, actually.
I could have had an issue. And the interesting thing at Le Mans, there's plenty of time to get sorted, right?
There is, yeah.
So you shouldn't have too many issues. But the first few corners can definitely be hairy.
And as I was given that rundown, it looks like Miguel was able to make it past Victor. So this is shaping up to be quite a battle. We're not seeing the sort of runaway start we've seen in some of the other races this season.
Yeah, and at the Porsche Cup race, as we're getting about halfway to me loading back in, gang, so we should be back on the air here shortly. But at the Porsche Cup race, they were never separated by really anything last weekend. They were drafting pretty much the entire race, and I think we'll see a lot of that tonight as well.
Yeah, there's some discussion about wing settings and other setup things, but the wing being a big issue here, and some people seeming to think that it didn't really matter too much in the sense that you either make it up on the straights or you make it up in the corners.
Right. What you gain on the straightaway, you're gonna, with a lower wing, you're going to give that up in the corners. And, I know we've been talking a lot about that getting ready for the IRTES race this weekend. Especially in a little bit longer race, you want something stable, and definitely through those Porsche curves, you want something stable for sure, right? So, all right, we are getting close here. Hopefully, I'm at the final mile here of loading in, and we will get right back on the air with you all. And again, we apologize for the issue, but it happens.
So Victor and Miguel still very, very close. Justin right behind them, just waiting for an opportunity. A bit of a gap back to Claude and Michael, who are running very close. And then it's a little bit more spread out from there. Back in AM, we still have Doug in the lead. Kevin Ayers has made his way up into P2.
All right, and we are getting close to being back on the channel. And I think I am back, Ryan, so...
Excellent.
I'm having to reload a couple of things that are ancillary, but we are at least back on the air. If you want to continue to kind of give an update while I just get the final mile of being sorted here, and then we should be able to call everything live.
Sounds good. And I have to correct myself here. Kevin Ayers, of course, a pro driver. I'm just, I don't have the same tools that David has at his disposal there to see all that in real time.
Yeah, so let's see if I can't get out there live. Here we are. We should be live now, Ryan. Hopefully you and the viewers are seeing it. If anybody's able to give us a confirmation, I certainly would appreciate that. And again, we apologize for the difficulty. User error on my part. I think as much as I'd like to blame iRacing, I really can't tonight. It was an issue on my end where I did not register for the race properly. So, okay, let's bring this back for you here, and let's make up for it with... we've only missed 6 minutes of the action, so we got plenty of time to make up for it. Miguel Colon is who you see out front right now. Miguel leading over Victor Tanaka in second position. And because I had to reload in, we're also seeing some trading paints still coming together, and it looks like it's doing that in real time. Victor's car has now come on. Third position is Justin Hess. These cars are nose to tail at the moment with a little bit of a breakaway. You can see as they round the corner here, just behind them in fourth and fifth position are Michael Parker and Claude Belval. And how about Claude Belval? Let's get on board with him for a minute here. This might be one of his better runs of the season so far here, Ryan. Even looking to set up a pass on Michael Parker.
Yep, he wants that spot.
He does. And, Claude was so strong in our first season at the end of 22. And for him to be back tonight, with this type of a race already is phenomenal. Being up at the top 5 and looking really, really strong, kind of holding on to this second little breakaway of these two cars, which again, that's Michael Parker just ahead of him, and then our 3 leaders ahead there. I do want to go ahead and quickly give an update on the AM class. So in the orange Audi here, you can see Joshua Burke. This is Joshua, great looking paint scheme in the orange and black car. He is our leader currently, 6th position overall, and the leader in the AM class. And guess who is in second place, Ryan. Larry Ford.
Well, how about that?
Yeah, look at old Larry Ford here in 10th position overall. We know this is Larry's best race of the season. Larry's had an up and down season, a lot of trouble, and let's hope that he can keep it together here tonight and maybe even contend for a win. He's only about 3 or 4 seconds behind Joshua Burke right now, so really, really strong start for Larry Ford. And he's actually being chased by Anthony James. So this is Anthony James just behind him in the Dunkin' Donuts Lamborghini. So 2 Lamborghinis here together. And these are 2 wily old veterans that we haven't kind of seen up at the front here on the podium, Ryan. But what's gotten into them tonight? Have they just decided to lay down the hammer on these guys at a old classic track?
I don't know. Could very well be. Enough's enough. Let's do it.
Yeah. You have to what now? Anybody out there watching? If you do tune in and you were able to be patient enough with us through our technical difficulty, you have to watch Ryan and I when some of these older guys like us get to going well, we might start rooting for them. So good stuff, right? But really pretty exciting start to the race, and again, apologies we missed it. We do have a couple of cars that we were not able to cover that have retired already. So unfortunately, Dominique Ford is out of the race and Zach Sternhagen is out of the race. And I am able to, I think, tell you what happened to Zach Sternhagen. Let's go back, and we're watching on board with him now. I going to show you Zach Sternhagen's problem. Oh, side by side, and looks like he's maybe going to back it. I don't think he backed it into the wall there, Ryan, but maybe picked up some damage in that contact there with the... Looked like that was Peter Hebron.
Yeah, it looked like he came out of that okay.
Yeah, but let's go ahead a little here. I think he may have had another issue. Well, here he is again, and again, just got really slow here. So it's almost as if the car was hurt. And we'll go up a little further ahead. Slow still, almost as if he's limping it back to the pit. So I've got to think he had some suspension damage and may have just ended up calling it a night.
Could be, yeah. Some of those little love taps in these cars tend to be a little more damaging than they would first appear.
Yeah, and then there was Zach onto the pit road, and unfortunately, it looks like we had an issue as well here with Shane Norton. You could see Shane there slow on the side of the track and had an issue as well. So those are what I'm able to go back and catch in real time and show you from a drivers with issues perspective so far. But again, up front, you can see him here. 3-car breakaway, Miguel Colon, who did start from the pole, Victor Tanaka in second, and last week's winner, Justin Hess, in third. And Ryan, I don't know, has Miguel had a win this season in the Wednesday series?
I believe he has, but, oh no, wait, no, he hasn't.
I'm going to look here.
That's what we were talking about previously, about Victor and Miguel not having won any races this season, but being our number 1 and number 2 spots.
Yeah, you're right. I don't see either of them with a win, and both of them there right now contending for one. And Justin Hess, Michael Parker, both have had wins on the season so far behind them. Claude Belval has not, and we talked about Claude Belval. Again, we'll go to him here. Claude Belval definitely sort of outclassing himself tonight with this run, and could be another sleeper here in the group if he's able to continue to hang on to Michael Parker and maximize his strategy on fuel and whatnot. Where are we limited, Ryan, tonight on fuel settings?
Yep, still 85%. I don't have tremendous intel if there's anybody that's contemplating trying to fuel save it here. With the length of the straight, I'm not sure how effective that would be, but you never know.
Yeah, never quite know. And I am looking at Claude Baval as we ride along with him here now. You know, he didn't score any points at all in the season. You know, missed some races, had 0 points in a couple. And but at Fuji and Interlagos, he started to do quite a bit better. He missed last week's race at Nürburgring, but 28 and 29 points respectively. So, you know, part of the reason we haven't been talking about Claude too much is because he just hasn't been up front for lack of either not being here or having some issues, which, you know, can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
But a strong run tonight, and definitely looking really, really good. So let's do what do you say we do a little bit of a catch guys up with a field rundown and maybe touch on our AM class to start, right?
Sounds good to me.
All right, so let's go here. Joshua Burke, we talked about him just a minute ago. He is our leader right now, finds himself in 6th position overall, off to a really strong start, and one that he's got to feel good about, because the nice thing for Joshua is that, you know, he is, you know, doing quite well in the points as well, and keep me honest on this. Joshua's not the driver that moved. No, he stayed. He stayed in the AM class. I think it was Hunter McRoby who was the driver who elected to move into pro, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully we can get that info later. But again, we talked about Larry Ford. Here's Larry in 2nd, and he is in probably one of the better races on the track right now with Anthony James just behind him. And Ryan, looks like Anthony's putting a lot of pressure on Larry.
Yeah, they've this whole situation with this track is so interesting in that there's a lot of different approaches that are coming in and a lot of different skills that are sort of melding together to give us a pretty big gap between sort of the slowest and fastest lap times, but still translating to really good battles here.
And Anthony just made the pass on Larry, so he got on the outside there, made the pass, and moves up into P2 in the AM class. So how about that? Strong run for these two gentlemen, and a race we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on between the two of them. And that's Richard Hibbs that they're just behind, and then Stephen Yanni just ahead of them. So Larry and Anthony both with some really, really solid starts to this race. Behind them in 4th position, a little ways back, that we find Gabriel Albano. Now, this is a really important race for Gabriel. We talked about this earlier with Scott Kennedy not being here, and it looks like as I get on Gabriel, he gets passed by Mike Tyler. So that's Mike Tyler going around Gabriel, but Gabriel has the opportunity to walk out of here tonight, Ryan, as the new points leader.
Yeah, you know, he's done that math.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, as we were talking about that, Mike Tyler, just ahead of him, makes the pass for position. And you know what I'm starting to think here? Tyler and Ford, both in the top 5 here, they've got a setup underneath them, I think, tonight.
Yeah.
You know, I think I know they've been working hard along with their teammate Phil Elmore for the Longhorn Racing Team, getting ready for IRTES this weekend. So they were at the practice this past weekend for IRTS. They've been working and wrenching on a setup. I've seen them talking about it some on the Discord. So, you know, of course, very experienced drivers. So, you know, we don't want to you know, or not give them credit there, but yeah, I think the work they're doing with the setup's paying off, because you know, Mike and Larry ahead of really what will probably be our points leader by the end of the night right now. And they have not been able to run with, you know, unless I am mistaken, I don't think they've been able to run with the likes of Gabriel Albano this season, Ryan, in the previous events.
Yeah, I'm struggling to remember now too. I don't think so.
Yeah, Albano, you can see here, he's not going to give up the fight. He's going to continue to stay right on Tyler. But we'll give you that data for those interested. The way the points look, Gabriel Albano is currently, you know, as we've mentioned before a couple times now, 11 points back of Scott Kennedy in 2nd position. for Mike Tyler and Larry Ford, you've got to go. Larry is in 4th position, so quietly Larry has been having a really good season. A lot of mid-pack finishes, top 10s in the class, and then Mike Tyler is in 9th position. But whereas Gabriel has had, I'm counting about 4 or 5 podiums so far, neither of them have been on the podium yet this season, Ryan.
Right.
Heck of a race here as we ride along with Gabriel as he gives chase to Tyler. Be interesting to see what Tyler does here. We saw a similar battle with Larry Ford and Anthony James, and right about this section on the track, James was able to get around Ford. Also curious what you've been hearing on the talk, Ryan, and leading up to the race around BOP, and what have the guys been saying about the cars? Is there a horse in the race here that's stronger than one or the other tonight, manufacturer-wise?
I haven't heard much, which usually means that they're pretty close, which is pretty consistent with what I would expect from the previous results that we've seen. Whether there's one that's a little better for Le Mans specifically, I haven't heard a whole bunch about.
Yeah. So good battle here. All right, let's do a rundown of the field in the Pro Class. We'll start from 10th and work our way all the way up to the lead. So this is Richard Hibbs, currently in 11th position overall in the BMW, the blue, white, and black BMW that we're following here now. And Richard continues to have a really strong season. I know we've had a few fans on Twitch that have been pulling for Richard, some of his friends and teammates. And he's giving chase to the car in 9th position in class, 10th overall in the race directly in front of him, and that's JT Tammy. So JT's got that Ford looking good. And, boy, you would think, Ryan, that this is a track that that Ford's got to be able to hum here. It's got so much history at this racetrack.
Yeah, and JT has really done the work to figure out how to drive it, quite frankly, but to really pull out the time from it, and he's been working on fuel saving and all of those really fine-grained optimizations that you can only make after you've had a decent amount of seat time in a car.
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't know if anyone caught it, but JT paying tribute to John Tammy on his car with Rest in Peace, and so our thoughts and prayers, of course, with JT and his family, and showing a tribute to some of his family, lost family here this evening, and definitely making them proud with a solid run here in a car that needs no introduction at Le Mans. With all the history here, I think about all the Ford versus Ferrari stuff back in the late 60s, and it was cool to see them give credit where it was due on that to Ken Miles and the movie and whatnot that we got to see. Did you get a chance to watch any of that, Ryan?
No, I didn't, unfortunately, but hopefully I'll be able to circle back and watch that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I highly recommend reading the book. Go Like Hell is the title of the book, and it kind of goes through that battle and what Ford did to get in the game at Le Mans with Ferrari, and then of course Christian Bale and Matt Damon and some of the guys did a phenomenal job with the movie as well. Christian Bale playing Ken Miles in the movie. And as we talk about this, look at this here. We've got this is Christian Youngwall looking like he's going to flex his muscles and go right around JT Tammy and Richard Hibbs both in one corner, Ryan.
That is not an easy thing to do with those drivers.
No, it's not. And so Christian now kind of gets around both of them, and as we work up the field, that is the next driver in the field. Stephen Yanni just ahead of them, so just ahead of Christian. You can see Stephen Yanni here as Christian sets his sights on him. Rafael Sosa a little way up ahead, having a solid run. He's in 7th position in class, 8th position overall. Edward Nelson just ahead of him, so a really, really strong battle, and that's Joshua Burke mixed in with them here between these two cars, our leader in the AMP category that we talked about. So some great racing here all the way around, and I tell you where it's gotten really interesting. We've had a a change for the lead, and something might have happened with Miguel Colon. He slipped back to third position, Ryan, and we've got a new leader, Victor Tanaka, with Justin Hess all over him.
Wow. I think that something that might have happened to Miguel might have been Justin. He was right there behind, just watching that battle in front of him.
Yeah, maybe so. I'll see if I can figure out if we've got a replay on that. I don't know that we do. But Justin and Victor have not only taken over the lead here now, but they've checked out a little bit on Miguel and Michael Parker. Michael Parker finds himself 6.5, almost 7 seconds back, towing Claude Belval around the track. And, now Miguel is threatening losing the draft of these two in addition.
Yeah, that top three was always going to be a little bit spicy, as they say, but boy.
Yeah, and and it's interesting. We're missing a few guys tonight. We're missing Paul Darling. I don't see James Gong, unless I'm missing James. Our 5th position in the points is not here tonight. I'm not sure that Drew Lidke's here either. So we're getting into summer, and it's not uncommon. You get into summer and late into a season, you might miss a few guys. And we are certainly missing 2 or 3 of them here tonight. But that's given a couple other guys some opportunities. We might see Victor Tanaka finally get that first win tonight, Ryan.
Yeah.
To sort of validate his lead in the championship, and he's starting to pull away now from Justin Hess here.
Yep. So Drew is in Vegas, and Chris Hudson, another one that couldn't make it tonight, just had to take the night off, but he confirms he is sipping some French wine. So we'll give him a pass on that one.
Good for him. French wine is a good substitute for not doing iRacing, that's for certain, right? Yeah, so really good battle here for the lead. We'll keep our eyes on this, let you know if anything changes here. Let's check in on a couple of the other drivers that we talked about that are here, perhaps getting ready for IRTES this weekend. One of those is Brian Blanchette. Here is Brian, races mainly in the IRTES series, finds himself in 34th position, and looks like maybe a little bit of damage on the front end of this car, Ryan. Looks like he must have had some sort of issue, maybe when we weren't on the air. But that explains why Brian's all the way back in 34th, because he's certainly a driver that should not be back that far.
Right. The car does look a little banged up there.
It does, and just ahead of him is Jose Correa. So this is another driver here that runs primarily in IRTES. He finds himself in 33rd position. I don't see anything wrong with this car. So not sure what's going on here. Don't see any visible damage on the car. But maybe just kind of using this as his first shakedown, perhaps, tonight to get ready for the weekend.
Could be.
Another driver here that I think we can't be at Le Mans without talking about is Paul Hamilton. It is fantastic to see Paul out here tonight. Paul has not been running very many races. I don't know if you've got the data, Ryan, but this may be his first race in the season. But one thing about Paul, he never misses a race at Le Mans. And he's here tonight.
You are almost right. He raced at Sebring.
Okay. Well,
that was our first race, so it's been a while.
If there's one thing about a driver like Paul, let's talk about him here for a minute, because we like to give everybody their credit and their airtime here as we ride along with Paul on his roll bar camera here at Le Mans. He is a fan of the classics. Anything classic is what Paul's going to be into. So it does not surprise me at all to see him at Sebring, at Le Mans, maybe at Daytona. Paul's been with us since the very beginning here as a driver at CMS. He's someone that we admire greatly and has really adjusted well to the evolution of the league. He's become good friends with some of his new teammates. Ryan, I don't know if you knew this, but he's a member of the Ghost Racing team,
Yep.
which is a CMS sponsored team, along with Kevin Ayers and Zach Sternhagen and Stephen Knight and a few other guys. They've always got beautiful liveries. You can kind of see that here tonight, and no exception this evening, as looking great in the Lambo here for Paul Hamilton, and glad he's here.
Yeah, Paul's really a class act. He knows what CMS is all about.
He does. And so, Paul, if you get a chance to go back and watch this tonight after you're done racing, just know that we appreciate you. And let's see if we can't get you out of 28th position tonight and up into the top 20, which is where that brings me to Thomas Fisher. Just before I had the technical issues, Ryan, we talked a little bit about Thomas Fisher. Here he is now making a move on Douglas Hintz. Thomas started at the back of the field. I think he said to you in the Twitch chat that he had an incident and had a track cut of some sort and threw away a lap time that would have been worthy of contending for the top front row in this race, and he's going to go make the move on Douglas Hintz now. So started in the rear of the field and has moved himself all the way up to 17th position here, a little less than halfway into the race. So this is a man on a charge, and one that we'll have to pay attention to see if he can't get into the top 10 by the end of the night. Currently in 16th position with that pass over Douglas Hintz, and Doug is no slouch, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, I tell you what, not only did he passed him and it just blew the doors off of him. Look at how far ahead of him he is already. So Thomas is flying. Absolutely flying.
Yeah, this is really great to watch. All the, we try to tell as many stories as we can about the races that are going on around us, but, the reality is, there's far too much for two men to cover, as illustrious as we may be.
Yeah, exactly. Let's don't sell yourself short, they say, right? We're both incredible slouches, right? And you know what? Unfortunately, I hope this is a false alarm, but I think we may have an issue with Larry Ford. Let's hope this was just regular service. I got a report that maybe he was driving slowly and off the pace. But you know what I'm thinking it is, Ryan? I'm thinking he's just coming out of the pits here, and he is. It looks like we talked about Larry Ford, Anthony James, and Mike Tyler, all three of them on outlaps right now. So those three battling hard, and some of the veterans, could be in a position to get a win tonight, which would be a really special moment. Unfortunately, Joshua Burke's going to have something to say about that, but it looks like Larry is one of the first takers on pit road, and comes out just behind Anthony James. That's Anthony just ahead of him. So Anthony continues to kind of have the advantage in this battle. See Anthony here in the foreground and Larry in the background, but they haven't been more than a couple of football fields apart all night, Ryan, these two.
Yeah, and around Le Mans, that's not a lot of space.
No, it's really not. It's interesting they pitted right at that halfway mark. That tells me they probably knew they couldn't make this thing on one stop.
Yeah, it seems like most of the fuel saving that we've seen has been at the sharp end of the field in Pro this season. So still a question mark, I guess, as to whether some of the faster guys managed to pull it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's interesting. It's interesting too, as well, how it's your faster guys who get the better fuel mileage. So go figure on that. They can do all sorts of things, and in the case of some of them like Miguel Colon, they can babysit while they do it at the same time. So right. We know there's all kinds of things they can do. Good race here. This is 6th position, Edward Nelson. He's in a pretty good battle with Rafael Sosa just behind him here. That's Rafael, you can see. And then Joshua Burke just behind them. Joshua remains our leader in the AM category. And I want to give you all an update. Gabriel Albano has now moved into second position with Anthony James, Larry Ford, and Mike Tyler pitting. But he is 15 seconds behind Joshua Burke. So Josh is on a Sunday drive here at the moment, Ryan. And he's going to do another lap. He's not pitting.
We may see some different strategies here in terms of fuel stops, but also tire stops. It seems like the drivers still haven't decided whether they like taking tires in these cars.
Yeah. And by the way, that's Christian Youngwall right on him. I mean, this man is flying. We watched him go around JT Tammy and another quick driver. I can't remember who it was at the moment. Maybe it was Gabriel Albano. I think it was. But Youngwall is he might be one. He might be if. In fact, he is the fastest car on the track right now, Ryan, in this Mercedes.
Wow. Yeah, that's he wants to mix it up there at the front.
Yeah, he does. And Christian was super strong in our 2022 season. And as we kind of ride around, follow him from our blimp view for a minute while I give a quick update, he was really, really strong in the season at the end of 2022. And then, in this season hasn't had the opportunity to participate as much. In fact, I show that this is the first race he has attended in the last half dozen or so. But when he has been here, he's been a podium caliber driver. He had podiums at both Hungaroring and Barcelona back-to-back early in the season, but he's just kind of not really been in the conversation simply because he just hasn't been racing. But he is certainly, he's got the fastest lap of the race. He's up 25 positions. So this is obviously a driver who didn't qualify tonight. And in some ways, I think he's probably got to be kicking himself that he didn't start up front, because had he, he's only, starting in the rear, he's only 16 seconds behind the leaders, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's made up quite a bit of ground, and he's looking really good out there. Yeah. With a 353. That's incredible.
That's just absolutely incredible. And that's Edward Nelson in front of him now. He's going to continue to go after these guys, and it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up kind of finding himself maybe in podium in contention. And speaking of podium, I mean, we left it for a little bit, come back to it. Nothing has changed, but Victor Tanaka continues to have a mirror full of Justin Hess here. Let's watch him go through the Porsche curves. Riding along with Justin Hess in the Ferrari. Victor Tanaka, the leader and championship leader, in front of him here. Victor looking to validate his championship run going into the final week with what would be his first win of the year. I don't think he can clinch anything tonight, especially with Miguel Colon in P3, the second place man in the points. But a win would certainly give Victor the confidence, wouldn't it, Ryan, going into the final round to maybe take down the championship at Suzuka.
Sure would, and a win at Le Mans is a good day.
Oh,
no matter what else happens.
Absolutely. You can win at Le Mans or Sebring or Daytona. Or really any race, but some of these ones that are just ultra special, they mean a little bit more, right? So while we watch them go around the track here, I want to just give a quick shout out to our sponsor for this series, simrace247.com. a phenomenal website for all things, anything and everything, sim racing blog and news related. They've got some really, really exciting things going on in the esports arena right now with some Formula One drivers. And so give them a look at simrace247.com. Darren and his team there do a phenomenal job. They're longtime partners with CMS, and they help make this series possible, and really help us have such a strong field because they bring awareness and attention and some new drivers to it, and that's what we get in return from working with them, and we couldn't be happier to have their beautiful logo and partnership with us. And Ryan, I know you enjoy working with Darren and his crew. A great group of folks.
Absolutely.
Tell you what, Justin Hess is not going to let Victor out of his clutches, and I'm wondering if he's riding back here intentionally. You think maybe he might be getting a little fuel saving by doing this?
I know he's been doing a lot of work on his fuel savings, so it sure wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me either. Let's take a quick look here. Looks like David Nelson has been on pit road. It's like Mike Tyler may have had an issue. Ryan, no! Mike, hold on to it! Oh, and then we lost him momentarily. Man, a tank slapper of all tank slappers.
Oh, I thought he saved it so many times there.
Oh, I did too. I did too. That was terrible. Let's go back and watch this within the cockpit. Look at this, Ryan. Oh my goodness. That's a helpless feeling.
No.
And he was having such a good run. I've got to think maybe cold tires coming out of the pits, and it just kind of caught him out. And look at this. He's still trying to get going. Finally gets it turned around, but tons of time damaged. Tons of time lost. Not sure if he's got a meatball. But boy, we sure hate to hear that. It looks like he's continuing on, so hopefully it was just hurt his ego and not the car.
Right.
By the way, we have a new leader. It looks like Justin Hess has made the pass. So let's see if we can't figure out when that happened.
Did he pit? Oh, yes, he did. Lap 10?
Yes, he did. Victor Tanaka has come to the pits now, and so he's on the pit road right now. We're watching this live. This is Victor Tanaka on pit road. So that gives the lead to Justin Hess. And we've also got Michael Parker in the pits. We've got Christian Youngwall in the pits. We've got several drivers in the pits here now. So that's got to tell me that I can't imagine anybody's going to do this thing without stopping, especially as long as a lap is here. You just really can't risk it here. You cannot risk running out of fuel at a track like this. You just can't.
Yeah.
And we saw a little of that at the Porsche Cup race. So, you know, when you hear us talk, Ryan and I, about IRTES, and which is short for our iRacing Team Endurance Series, some of these bigger tracks, we have kind of a, you know, an event within an event. So this is the second of 3 races in the last 10 days at Le Mans, and the Porsche Cup race went first. That was last Sunday, and we saw Tristan Martz win that race. But the reason I bring this up, Ryan, is it was not without a little bit of work on fuel saving. They were really tight on fuel, had to save a little bit from the beginning to make sure you could get there, and Tristan was the one. It was a super exciting race, which we won't go into all that right now, but Christian went from 4th to 1st with a few corners left in the race, but a lot of that position that he was in was due to saving the fuel so well.
Yep, that's what it's really, we've seen a lot of that in this series and IRTES as well, that races are not won and lost based on lap time alone. All of our drivers know that. Racecraft, fuel saving, pit strategy can often win you more races than raw pace.
Absolutely. And Miguel Colon here now is about 2 seconds, a little less than 2 seconds behind Justin Hess. So these are our front runners. I'll be interested to see if they come to the pits, Ryan. Let's stick with them here and kind of see what these guys decide to do. Isn't it just beautiful out here watching these cars go around this track with all these beautiful trees and scenery?
Oh yeah, got a little bit of sunset going on here.
No better place to race than here. Especially when it comes to sports car racing.
Yeah.
Let's ride along here within the cockpit with Miguel and just watch how smooth this driver is. This is one of the best in the business, gang. At getting around any track in any car. Watch how smooth he is here going through the Porsche curves, using every inch of the track in this Mercedes.
He's got to be smoother. He'll wake his daughter up.
Yes, he will. Miguel, as we've nicknamed him, one half of the M&M brothers with Michael Parker. They tend to always find each other on the track, and that's Justin Hess just ahead of him. I'm interested to see if Justin is going to peel off into the pits, and he will. Both of these guys come into pit road now, so here they come. That's going to hand the lead back, I've got to think, to some of the others. Let's take a look here live, see if Claude Belval comes to the pits. Yeah, Claude Belval coming in as well now. This is Claude that we're with. Here's Joshua Burke. I'm thinking, Ryan, that they're all coming to the pits now. Yeah, Burke coming in. Here comes Richard Hibbs. And I don't see any of these drivers not coming into the pits here at this point. Stephen Yanni on pit road. JT Tammy, he's the one that might try something weird. And he did. JT Tammy's going to go around another lap. And he's going to be our leader, I think.
We need him to text us and let us know his fuel strategy here.
Yeah, how fitting would that be to see the Ford? Yeah, we've got a new leader, folks. Now, we don't know if it's short-lived and if he's going to have to get to the pits, but, you know, we don't know much about this Ford because nobody but him runs it. So, I don't know. It feels like a muscle car to me, which it's far from, right? But you'd think it'd be a gas guzzler, wouldn't you?
You would.
It's got all the EcoBoost stuff, and
but he's been well, for much of it, he was leading the R&D department in terms of fuel saving. So if anybody can do it, it's JT.
Yeah, absolutely. He is the only car right now that has not pitted. David McNichols is on pit road, as well as a couple other stragglers as we speak. So we'll pay close attention to this and let you know what he does. While we're doing that, let's just kind of check in again on the leader in AM class. Joshua Burke, that's him, right here in the yellow and black Audi. We've talked about Josh a few times tonight. He now has a pretty commanding lead. He's got about a 30-second lead over Gabriel Albano. So we'll go back to Gabriel here in second. He is in 16th position overall. Finds himself about 30 seconds behind Burke, who's having a phenomenal run. And Anthony James is on the podium. So that kind of rounds out the top three. If we go to fourth and fifth, Larry Ford just behind them. Larry continuing to have a really strong run, was as high as second in the race. And then Douglas Hintz. You know, we saw Douglas getting passed by Christian Youngwall, but having a solid run, 21st position overall, and that's good enough, Ryan, for 5th place in class. And this is a hell of a race going on here between about 4 or 5 cars that we checked in on. And kind of like you talked about, Ryan, we can't catch everything. I mean, there's races like this going on everywhere. And this is a pack of angry dogs here, it looks like.
We're going almost 3 wide here. This is crazy.
Yeah, Larry.
50 minutes into the race.
Look at this. Doug making a move on the inside. He's going to try to send it down here. Is he going to pull this off? Larry doesn't like this move. And he's not going to give in an inch. Larry didn't like that, right? And he was like, hey, you're not getting an inch. Now Larry's going to be out of position. We got a heck of a race here, guys. We're going to stick with this a minute, and we'll keep you updated on what JT Tammy does. But they're going to go in down here double file going into this next set of corners. This is Larry, Jose Ramirez, Shane Norton, Doug Hentz. You got Richard McClure and John Majorbanks just behind him. Will he have the position? Oh, we knew that wasn't going to have the outcome we wanted. It looked like Shane Norton. From what I could tell, Shane just couldn't make it work. Here it is again, Ryan. He tried to send it in there, and it doesn't look like Larry got into him, but maybe he did. Maybe a little bit of net code. I'm not sure.
It looked like there was contact.
Yeah,
but from that perspective, it's tough to see what happened.
That was elbows out for sure, wouldn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and showing
real good up until that point, though.
Yeah, I'm showing Miguel Colon with an issue, and not see. No, I think it was just him pitting. Okay, here's JT Tammy. He is on pit or coming into pit road now. So this was the other story we were following. We wanted to see if he could make it without pitting, and he couldn't. So he is the final driver to come into the pits, and that's going to give our lead back to this man, Justin Hess, now. So, Ryan, we might see 2 in a row.
Might happen.
Could see 2 in a row here. That's Miguel Colon just behind him that you see. Justin looking really strong. You know, we knew Justin was going to be, I mean, he was up front from day one when he got back out here in the series with us, Ryan, but, you know, coming from so much experience in the GTE version of this car, you know, the Ferrari, and, you know, now that he's kind of adapted to this GT3 version of it, he definitely is looking great.
Yeah.
Looking kind of like the man to beat all of a sudden here in a lot of these races. And Victor Tanaka, by the way, has slipped into 3rd position through all this. This is Miguel and Justin, and that's Victor, who you just now see entering the picture in 3rd position. And he's lost about 5 or 6 seconds to these guys now. So this is the most separation that we've seen, really, in the race so far. I'm wondering if maybe just didn't quite, you know, it's a tricky pit road, and I'm wondering if he maybe just didn't quite get on and off pit road as good as these other 2 did for Victor Tanaka.
Yeah, you're right. It is a tricky set of pits for sure.
Showing about 10 minutes left, so probably dealing with about 3 more laps at the line, I'm thinking. That's certainly plenty of time for each of these guys to pin their ears back. We know now that nobody's trying to save fuel to get to the end. So it's really, I think our winner, unless something happens odd, is going to come from one of these 3, Ryan, in the top class tonight.
Yeah, it's looking like this is Justin's race to lose at this point.
Yeah, it sure does. Let's check in on a couple of drivers that we haven't talked about tonight, just to give them a little bit of airtime. Let's give a shout out to David Nelson. Here's David in 27th position. David's had better races here at Le Mans, and see a little bit of bends and crinkles on this Porsche. David's had a couple issues tonight, and so unfortunate for him, but still want to give him a little bit of airtime. Joe Stiefel, who we always like to talk about because we love his paint scheme.
Yes,
Joe, yeah, also in a beautiful Porsche car in 24th position tonight. Just ahead of him, this is actually a pretty good race for position. This is Joe Stiefel. Just ahead of him is Shane Norton. And so Shane Norton and Richard McClure all three of these guys nose to tail for position. This is 22nd, 23rd, and 24th position here on the track, and boy, it's one hell of a race, it looks like. As we say that, Joe's going to go for a move. Woo! Down into Indianapolis, not a place you want to be side by side. That's two of the Dog Bear cars, so Joe's going to have to get around two teammates if he wants this position, Ryan.
I bet there's some good chatter going on in their team radio.
Yeah, Larry Ford has fallen back. That's Larry behind them now. And we know what happened there. He had that issue in another really strong battle. So, but really good race going on here. Let's talk about Kevin Ayers. Kevin in 18th position, kind of by himself out on the track, but Kevin having a solid run. And we talked earlier about Thomas Fisher. We're checking on him. Ryan up to 14th spot, so could definitely 23 position gain. Nothing to better than a sharp stick in the eye, right?
Way better.
Yeah, and I love this paint scheme on this car. What is this thing? Fisher nets. Have to get him to tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Great looking car.
It is.
Really doing well, and while all this has been happening, Justin Hess has just checked out. He is now up to a 3.5 second lead over Miguel Colon, so he is really moving and looking fantastic. Looks like Michael Parker may have had an issue. Here's Michael. Hold on to it. Oh no!
Oh.
Wow. Wow, that is uncharacteristic. Was battling with... Let's go back and look at that one more time. I think that was Christian Youngwall he was battling with. You know, Christian has been a man on a mission. It looks like Michael got a couple of wheels on the grass there, and man, it just went around on him. Kind of pancaked the side of that wall, Ryan.
Yeah, once that happens, there's absolutely nothing you can do.
Yeah, let's see if he's coming to the pits here. Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's going to be okay. But, you know, we've talked again a little, you know, come back to Christian Youngwall, all the way up to 5th position now. And I really, you know, 28 positions from where he started. This reminds me of the run that Paul Darling had at Magny-Cours in France, when he started pretty much shotgun on the field. And, you know, by shotgun, in my terms, I mean last. And he drove up to damn near, you know, win the race. I believe he might have ended with a top 5 or a podium. And Christian having a similar night here. And that's Claude Boval just ahead of him. That's the 4th position. So he's got an opportunity to get another spot before this thing's over, Ryan. And man, what a drive.
Yeah, it's been great. While all that was going on, Joshua Burke has been doing some more work. He just made it past Rafael Sosa.
Yeah,
and they're right in there with Richard Hibbs.
Yeah, here's Joshua. So got around, yeah, absolutely having a phenomenal race. Got around Rafael Sosa, who's one of the faster drivers. Also another IRTES driver that's here tonight. Richard Hibbs is no slouch either. Richard continues to put together top 10 finish after top 10 finish. But Joshua Burke is really looking strong, and you know, don't think he's going to have enough to get up to the points lead, because he's missed a few races. In fact, he's missed the last 2. But he's had a couple of wins this year in the category in AM. If I'm looking at this correctly, Hungaroring and Barcelona, he took down wins. This could be the trifecta for him tonight with his 3rd win of the year in AM category. It's going to leave him. He's going to be thinking, man, what if I could have only made the rest of the races, right?
Yeah.
And again, we talked about, look like Michael Parker has really fallen back now, by the way. Yeah, Michael, here he is coming out of the pits, Ryan. Michael had to come in and take a repair after that issue where he put 2 wheels in the grass. He's fallen all the way back to 14th position. Just gave up a position to Thomas Fisher. So he had to come in, obviously, take his fast repair, come down pit road. And that's a shame.
Yeah, after putting on such a good race, it always hurts when you bin it right at the end like that.
Yeah, and 4th position in points. Now, Paul Darling and James Gong, neither of them are here tonight. They're 3rd and 5th coming into the night. JT Tammy is in 6th position in the points. He could be in a position to get close to Parker. But Michael's not going to leave too much. Of course, Justin Hess is really moving up. Justin currently in 7th position in the points, has not run a full year. He missed the first 2 rounds of the year. But we ride here with Justin. We think he will make it 2 in a row here at Le Mans, unless he's has some sort of ill fortune here at the end of the race. But putting on a clinic in this thing. They've started lapping cars. And Miguel Colon, as quick as Miguel is, he just doesn't have anything for Justin tonight. Once Justin got around him, that was it.
Yep, just started pulling a gap.
Yeah, Justin really, really likes to work and wrench on his setup, and he will perfect a setup. He's kind of an engineering background-minded person, student, fine young guy, and has really been a positive impact here at CMS. He helps a lot, has done some admin work for us, and it's good to see him racing again. He had an injury of some sort about a year ago and had to take some time off. But he's obviously taken all that experience he had in the GTE version of this Ferrari, and he has transferred it in a big way to this GT3 car. And, he's the guy to beat right now, I think. And even though we got an issue?
Richard Hibbs has just gone around and had an issue there.
Here we go. I've got it here. It's in this big battle. Richard Hibbs, he's coming in here. Big battle. Got a little bit too much of the curb, and around he goes. Oh, and he gets hit. That was Stephen Yanni that hit him. And let's go back and watch this. Here's Yanni. The car spun. You see it, Ryan. And then, ouch. And then Yanni, I think, is going to have to come to the pits. He's driving slowly. Wow, here at the end of the race, at the very end of the race, we get some issues. Here's Joe Stifle. Looks like Joe may have had an issue as well. Maybe not. That may have been a false alarm on my part. A couple of these cars slow, and Hess is just going to cruise here at this point. I think we got a white flag in the air now, Ryan.
Yep, I think so.
Coming down to the end of the long Mulsanne straight into the chicane. Got about a 4-second lead over Miguel Colon. Another battle I want to check in here really quickly on. We'll kind of follow this as we come to the line. This is a driver we've not talked about, Ryan. But look at Mark Nister now. He is all over Richard Hibbs. After Richard had that issue, it's allowed Mark Nister to be all. Justin was our winner last week at Nürburgring. And definitely the hottest driver in the series right now, performance-wise. We won't say on looks. We're not going to give him that much credit. Ryan, he's got to be feeling good coming here through the Porsche curves. And I may have lost Ryan temporarily. We've been fighting a few gremlins tonight, so it looks like Justin already flashing the lights.
All right, it looks like we may have lost David. Not sure what happened there, but
I'm
do my best to cover what I'm seeing here. So
here,
it looks
Ryan.
like Justin is just going to come across the line here. I believe that's going to be the end of the race. So big congrats to Justin on coming away with the win. Miguel just behind him for second place. And
I am back, Ryan. I don't know how I lost. We didn't lose the stream, but
no, we didn't.
Some sort of way I lost. I lost stuff and was talking away, and I think people could hear me, but you couldn't hear me.
Oh,
it's been weird. It's been one of those nights. Let's watch a few cars come to the line here. Here's JT Tammy coming with Stephen Yanni just behind him. Edward Nelson in 10th place. We'll go back and recap the standings with some of the gremlins. If you guys didn't catch it, Mark Nister, this is that battle. Got around Richard Hibbs at the end. We knew that was going to be a possibility. Hibbs comes home in 12th. Thomas Fisher all the way up to 13th position. Michael Parker, a disappointing finish in 14th for him. Here's Jose Ramirez in 15th position. Gabriel Albano, who is likely to be our new points leader or close to it coming out of the night here at Le Mans. John Majorbanks in 17th. Kevin Ayers taking the finish in 18th. Douglas Hintz in 19th. And Shane Norton in 20th. Wow, we got through it. Glad that one's over so that hopefully we don't have any more PC issues, Ryan. Oh, wow. Congratulations to this man. Justin Hess took the win. And for some reason, where you heard Ryan and I there, I, for whatever reason, was out of the broadcast channel in Discord. So maybe fighting a little bit of internet issue here tonight or something that I'm not aware of. But it does not look like we ever lost the stream broadcast in that, Ryan. From what I can tell, it looks like we're still connected there. And we've got the pictures for everyone.
Yeah, it froze up for about 30 seconds, but it came back.
Yeah, good. Well, luckily we didn't get disconnected or anything there. So Justin Hess takes the win tonight, 2 in a row. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to him here in a minute. He's got to be feeling good, Ryan.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you take care of the interviews if you don't mind. I got a little thing I got to take care of here.
No problem. I'll take care of it. We'll wrap up here. And Ryan, thanks for fighting through it with me tonight. And thanks for anybody that came in. We had to kind of we had to ad lib, right? You know, and that's what you have to do in show business every once in a while. You gotta make it work no matter what when you're live, right?
For sure, yeah. But big congrats to Justin and Joshua for taking the wins in Pro and Am. And that's going to be it for me tonight. So thank you very much, and I'll let David take you guys away with the interviews.
Sounds good. Have a good evening, Ryan. So yeah, I'll run down the field, and then we'll get some drivers in here to chat here in a minute as they kind of wrap up and come off the track. So we'll start with our AM class. Again, congratulations to this man who you see on track, Joshua Burke, with a dominating win. He ends up taking the win over Gabriel Albano in second. And Douglas Hintz in third on the podium. Justin Hess is our winner in overall pro class, followed by Miguel Colon and Victor Tanaka in third position. So what a beautiful sunset here you see now at Le Mans, and just a fantastic race tonight. We certainly enjoyed watching it. Apologies for some of the issues that we had. Technical gremlins, sometimes those things happen. And tonight they did, and we were not immune to it. So without further ado, let me get our winners in here. We'll start with Joshua Burke in the AM class, and I'll bring him in here to talk to us now. So hopefully we can get Joshua. Josh, you got a copy?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. And tell you what, man, you are holding a beautiful Le Mans trophy virtually right now. How's it feel?
Feels awesome.
Great win tonight. And
Thank you.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, look at the statistics, that's the third for you this season. And man, what a great place to get it.
Yeah. This is fun. It's a little tedious to practice by yourself, 4 minute lap time, but I think it worked out. I had a real good long battle with Mr. Sosa for like a solid 50, 45 minutes. Um, just going back and forth with the drafts. It was real fun.
Yeah, that is, I tell you what, you made a good point. It's hard to practice here because it's you got to stay focused and and all those things. But boy, it sure is fun to race here, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was a good battle.
Yeah. Now, are we going to see you this weekend in the big race with CMS for the iRacing Team Endurance Series? Will you be out on track with us?
I don't think so. I'm thinking about running it next season, but no, I won't be there this weekend, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, we would love to have you out there, and seems like you got a good setup and car underneath you. So definitely look to maybe see you next season. And yeah, you got one more here. I know you're a little out of the championship conversation, but I think what you want to do is build upon this and go into Suzuka in the season finale and see if you can't, stink it up for everybody else to finish the season.
Absolutely, that is in my plans. Maybe I can get a podium out of it. So we'll see.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, Josh,
Yeah,
congrats tonight, and we enjoyed covering you. Talked a lot about you. You look great out there in the car, and excited for you, buddy.
thanks, David. Appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
You too.
All right, let's see if I can get Justin Hess in here. Justin, don't know that we've talked to Justin yet this season. I'll bring him in here. Justin,
How's it going?
you tell me. Two in a row. Wow, you are the man to beat right now, my friend.
I would say that is still Maximir, but I hope next time we're both on the same track and he doesn't make an error with the strategy. We can have a good fight.
Yeah, so tell me about how it's going. I know we talked a lot tonight on the broadcast about just the transition you've made from the GTE to the GT3. Is that coming together more and more every week? Are you there? Or you still got work to do? I think the other competitors would say you don't have any work to do based on your performance. But how's that transition going in your mind?
Going fairly well. I would say you don't know what you don't know, but the last couple races I made a few changes to the setup that really unlocked the car's potential. Just because of the way iRacing changes things over time, it really likes being stiff, and that's definitely helped the lap time a lot.
Yeah, and do you have kind of one setup you work off of and just kind of sort of tweak it from race to race? When you've got to change a downforce profile and that type of thing, or
I just run from the most recent track for the car, and then just make some changes. I mean, I know getting to the Le Mans setup, I tried a lot of things, whether it be wing, ride height, spring, and I ended up fairly close, 1700 springs all around and low wing, and it obviously worked out pretty well. Honestly, you could say I had too much wing, but maybe not.
yeah, it's interesting tonight. You were sort of just riding. It felt like early there, in about third position. I don't think you were ever really any lower than that. But Miguel Colon, once you got around him, he never really threatened you before. Was some of that intentional? Were you just kind of trying to bide your time and pick where you were going to make the move, or?
It certainly was. I was because the race wasn't going to happen till after the pit stop, and the idea was just to try and save as much fuel as you could to get some time back in the pit stop, so you could break the draft if you hadn't already. I apparently took too much fuel as I had more than enough to make an entire lap around afterward, but that was the plan, is just to hang back either P2 or P3 and save fuel and then jump them in the pit cycle,
Yeah, and
which more or
then
less worked out.
yeah, and then once you had the fuel situation out of the conversation, it looked like you were really able to click off some great laps there at the end, and just a beautiful win. Proud of you for it.
Thank you. And more than anything, I think that was from just saving tires. I told Victor in the early laps when I was in front of him, I'm not going to push this pace because I knew I needed the tires later in the race. I think Miguel and Victor both took tires, and that cost them a bit on their out lap in terms of warm up.
Yeah, for sure. And so you were able to get through on one set of tires, and that helped you. Helped you for sure.
Yeah, the car was just dream to drive.
I love it. I love it. We look good out there, and congrats on the win. And I know we'll see you this weekend, hopefully, as part of our team and staff for IRTES, and hopefully we'll get to witness a incident-free, since you do a lot of the steward stuff, and great race at this track, multi-class, come Sunday.
Certainly, and ultimately, that's not up to me. It's up to the drivers, but thank you for having me. I'll be there.
Yeah, take care, Justin. Congrats again.
Yep.
All right, let's see. I'm going to bring in a couple of more drivers here. I think I'm going to start with our championship guys. Let me grab Victor Tanaka here and see if we can't bring him in here, chat for a minute.
Hello.
Victor, you got a copy?
Yes, a copy.
Well, I tell you, we wanted to talk to you tonight. You know, we thought for a while there you were going to bring home the first win of the season to go along with your lead in the championship, but it didn't quite come together. And but nonetheless, another great performance, another podium, and we just kind of wanted to hear how things went and how you're feeling going into the season finale on top of the leaderboard at Suzuka next week.
Yeah. You know, it feels like there's a curse on CMS where the champions, like never win any races, because Michael won it last season, without winning, and like that's where it's, that's where it's going, like for me, that's how it's going for me so far. But yeah. Miguel had the pace for sure. He made a couple mistakes there, getting slowdowns. At the end of the Porsche curves there, which is how we got past him. Justin had a much higher downforce, setup. He was running a lot more wings than we were. So it was. He never really saw his pace because he was never in clear air, and he just opted to stay behind me, and just like save fuel.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you see, as soon as he was unleashed, he had a lot of pace.
Yeah, and he also, we just talked to him, he commented that he felt like you guys took tires, he was able to not take tires, and that may have helped him a little bit on the out lap, and but nonetheless, I mean, all three of you really drove a great race, and
yeah. So I was going to mention about the tires. It's very weird how it works here, because it never stops getting better. I feel like until lap 5 or 6 into the stint, you're still getting faster, and it's mostly because of the tires. Of course, the fuel load, has a factor in it too, but it's mostly towards the end of the stint where the lighter tank helps. But basically, because the straights are so long, over a lap, you only warm the tires up a couple degrees from the from the previous lap. So until you really put 5 laps in them, they're still getting hotter, and they're still getting better. And because of the straights are so long, the tire wear is very low. So I feel like, especially on a race like this where we only do 4 laps after the pit stops, I think Justin had a better strategy. I feel like taking tires, and even if there was a free pit stop for 4 tires, I still feel like it's better to just run the ones you have, because by the time you put the new ones up to temperature, the older ones were just running faster the whole time.
Yeah.
So
and on a track like this is a track that there's so much straightaway, you can kind of maybe get away with that, and he felt like he thought about that, and that he felt like kind of gave him a little bit of an advantage, and the good news is you guys got to learn from that, right? Everybody did, and that's what we love about CMS, is watching all you guys race. There's always somebody to race with, such great competition, and you guys never fail to put on a great show, especially up front.
Yeah, no, it's been great. It's been a great season. You never know who's gonna win. We've got different winners, different podiums. I'm happy with my P3s. I keep getting them every week, but at least they're consistent. I've got a couple of P2s as well. But yeah, I believe if my calculations are correct, I believe I still got 10 points to Miguel. Going into the last race. So as long as I can get maybe a top 5 and just not crash, it should be. It should be in my pocket, so it's mine to lose now.
I tell you what, we're going to tune in and watch it, and what a great place to settle it. It's going to be a phenomenal battle between you guys going into Suzuka. We can't wait to be there. And hey, again, congrats tonight, and we need to get you back out on the track with us at IRTES, and hopefully we'll be able to do that soon as well. We've got a big race coming up there on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll try. I'm like in between jobs now, so like starting next month I'll be in a different job, and I believe I'll have like weekends off. So yeah, I'll probably be able to do more of those. But yeah, I'm excited for Suzuka. Even though it's the long race, right? Like that extra 15 minutes, it makes a difference, makes a big difference. It's almost it's only 15, but it feels like half an hour or more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for Suzuka because I feel like it suits the Limbo a lot more. The Limbo likes like twisty tracks, and like I think that this was a weak track for the Limbo. But that's just my like racer excuse, right? If I'm slower, I gotta make up an excuse for it.
Yeah, well, we can't wait to watch it, man. Well, good luck, and enjoy the podium tonight in between now and then, and we'll see you back on the track next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the broadcast, David.
You bet. Bye-bye. All right, let me bring in one more here, and then we'll wrap up for the night. I'm going to bring in Gabriel Albano and talk to him. Great. Looks like maybe he did not want to come in. So I'll stop there then. Brought Gabriel to the stage and looked like he went back over to the voice chat. So we'll go ahead and wrap up tonight. Again, want to thank all of you that tuned in for the support. Also, thanks for being patient with us tonight. We had a couple of technical gremlins, and but those things happen, and hopefully we'll be able to get a little luckier next time and not have those issues. But really, in the end, I think we only missed about 5 or 6 minutes of the race. There was a little Discord issue at the end, but no harm, no foul. Couple of things just to call out again. Huge thank you to simrace247.com for their sponsorship of this series. We also want to encourage everyone to tune in this Sunday for the IRTES race at Le Mans as well. We will be live with our partners, our broadcast partners, Apex Sim Racing TV. We're going to have a phenomenal race, the LMDH, LMP2, and GT3 categories all together. A phenomenal series, great sponsorship by the likes of SimRace 24/7, as well as our title sponsor for that series, Penguin RC. And then next week, we will be, I believe it is next week, I'll have to double check, but I can't imagine it's not. We will be back here for the season finale at Suzuka, and we are going to go into that with a championship battle on our hands in both the AM category. I believe we'll get to see Gabriel Albano, Scott Kennedy go for that title. And if I'm missing anyone, I apologize. And then in the pro category, we should see a heck of a battle between Victor Tanaka and Miguel Colon. So we can't wait to bring it to you all, and we're excited about it. And thanks for tuning in tonight. So for Ryan Thompson, he had to leave. Ryan plays double duty. He does some admin work and had an admin issue here for the series he immediately had to take care of after the race. So hopefully everything's okay there. But that left you all in my hands to wrap up tonight. And we look forward to seeing you at IRTS on Sunday as we bring the main event to you from Le Mans. And we're excited about it. So until then, good night, and we will see you on the track.